Welcome to a new edition of See What's On, Central Maine's radio arts magazine, brought to you by Community Productions and Mix 107.9. It's Sunday, June 5th, 2016. I'm your host, Dick Dyer. Each week, we scour the region and highlight the new and the unique arts happenings wherever they might occur. From Bangor to Lewiston, from Farmington to Rockland, from lounges to formal theaters, from galleries, festivals, libraries, movie houses, and maybe even your own home. If it's on, it's on. See what's on. This week, we take a look at a former ABC News executive's exciting new electronic publication available to Maine readers. You will hear more about We Heart Maine. We also take a look at a local band whose name comes squarely out of Greek mythology. We take a close look at Calypso Soldiers. This segment of See What's On is brought to you by SBS Carbon Copy, located on Main Street in Waterville. SBS is a family-owned business and has always been a strong supporter of the arts and community development. Visit them at mainprintingservices.com. Calypso Soldiers has been not so quietly evolving their brand of bluesy rock in the Central Maine area for quite some time. This group features Brant Miller on bass, Ethan Savage on vocals, Steve Musco on guitar, Seth Hubley on drums, and Tyler Card on saxophone. They also include, as needed, Andrew Ayers, Dave Wakefield, and Parker Kenyon on horns in numerous of their recordings. One of their recent songs was written by Brant Miller and reflects on his role as a teacher in the area. It's great to have you in the studio with us today.
Well, thanks for having me, Dick. It's wonderful to be here.
Brant represents Calypso Soldiers. And right off the bat, I wanted to jump right into this, the obvious question. Everybody's going to ask, do you do Calypso music?
No, as a matter of fact, we don't. The name came about, sort of a funny story. We came back from college, and the lead singer and I, Ethan Savage, were playing some music in the basement, and he came up with some lyrics that said, "A kaleidoscope of Calypso soldiers are coming to carry you away." And just with the alliteration and the consonants, it sounded really kind of neat on the tongue. So we kept going with that. And as we researched it, we sort of found out that it had to do with the Aeneid, had to do with the island of Calypso, who was a nymph who kept some of Aeneas's soldiers sort of at bay and captivated them and didn't really allow them to go off and do what they were. It's almost like an escapist kind of thing. And it just sort of fit the whole music profile.
So it's really a metaphor for what you're trying to do.
Exactly. Trying to make you forget your problems for a little while and come out and have a good time. So we're playing the Wharf in Hollowell on June 11th and always back to Mainly Brews, which we love playing there, on, I believe that's in July.
Do you notice a difference if you're playing in a house in Booth Bay versus the Mainly Brews in Waterville?
Actually, we do, especially if it's during the summer season. You tend to have a lot of the boaters coming up, and so they might request different styles or different songs. Definitely at Mainly Brews, you get a sort of jam band feel because a lot of the jam bands throughout the whole state like to play up there. And if we go down to the Wharf is just ready for anything. And you get a crowd that comes around because Hollowell's got about somewhere around 11 bars within 2-block area. In
that regard, and a little bit more about you guys, because we really want to, as part of the show, really want to get to know you as musicians and as people. We're really proud of the kind of art that's produced here in Central Maine, but you all have full-time jobs.
Yes,
but you're all local members of this band, and obviously a lot of passion about your music.
Yeah, we all have day jobs. I'm actually a special ed teacher. I work at Halldale.
That's a great part of the Maine music scene. I know you all pick up with each other in times and play with each other, depending on what's going on, and whatever the jam may be.
Yeah, it's very, very liberating and fun to know that it's just you're welcome, and the whole community welcomes everybody, and it's just one person says, let's do this, and we do it, and we just sort of put out, hey, who wants to come play? And everyone sort of comes out and has a good time.
We're about to hear the song Homesick.
I'm a school teacher, like I said, and when I started teaching a little while ago, I saw that kids, some of them didn't come from the best of places. And so I began trying to write a song that was sort of reflect that. And you definitely hear it in the first part about when the kid leaves home and then sort of struggles through life, getting jobs that maybe aren't the highest levels, maybe suffering from some substance abuse issues, but finally overcoming it in the end. And then when they get that sort of white picket house at the very end of it, they think that they missed that struggle. And it's about sort of how life can be hard, and then you always think something's better, and maybe sometimes you just need to appreciate what you're actually going to and understand how happy you can be no matter what your circumstances are.
This is Homesick by Calypso Soldiers.
Hey boy, give me a beer. Got my plaid suitcase sitting by the staircase. Mom's in the basement 'cause Dad got green rug stained with years of my pain. But through the tears I can see through the door, find the green. No, I'm never going back there. No, I'm never going back. No, I'm never going back there again. I'm never going back. Got my name tag, got my hand and some jumping friends on minimum wage paycheck. I got a little habit I can't quite kick it. Through the haze I can see it through the door, find the green. No, I'm never going back there. No, I'm never going back. No, I'm never going back there again. I'm never going back. Got a girlfriend, I got another. A little competition and a pissed off brother. I had to get a triptych down to the clinic, but the kid, he's not mine. I go back, this won't be fine. No, I'm never going back there. No, I'm never going back. No, I'm never going back there again. I'm never going back. Got my new job, got my paycheck, got me a minivan, a white big adventure. Had me 3 sons and I love a ton. This life's mundane and I know that it's not for me. No, I'm never going back there. No, I'm never going back. No, I'm never going back there again. I'm never going back.
107.9 The Mix. You're listening to See What's On. I'm your host, Dick Dyer. That was Homesick by Calypso Soldiers. And as Brant was saying, they will be appearing on June 11th at the Wharf in Hollowell and in July at Mainly Brews in Waterville. Check out their complete schedule on Facebook.com/Calypso Soldiers. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk with Andrew Springer, the former ABC News producer, who has just released an electronic publication specifically for Maine called WeHeartMaine.com. Welcome back. You're listening to See What's On Mix 107.9. You can hear more on SeeWhat'sOn.com. That's the letter C, what'son.com, or on Facebook.com/Arts in Central Maine. Please take the time to send us your story ideas and calendar listings for upcoming arts events. Now we turn to our phone interview with Andrew Springer. He was associate producer of social media for ABC News Worldwide out of New York City. Andrew discusses his experience working with the likes of George Stephanopoulos, Robin Roberts, and Colby grad and NBC Channel 6 journalist Dan Harris from right here in Maine. Andrew, welcome to See What's On.
Thanks, Dick. It's great to be here.
Well, you've launched We Heart, and it's known in West Virginia as simply We Heart West Virginia. You've also launched We Heart in upstate New York as We Heart Buffalo. And now, a week and a half ago, We Heart Maine.
We've launched in Maine, and we're trying to find a sustainable business model for impact and accountability journalism, the stuff that big regional newspapers used to do a lot of and you don't see a whole lot of anymore because of mostly financial constraints on these newspapers. And the big newspapers that were once great temples of journalism, from the Sacramento Bee to the San Antonio Express News, they've cut back so much just because of the time we live in, that their advertising model collapses and circulation drops, that they can't afford to do the bigger investigative accountability, bigger picture stuff that we're aiming to do. And we sort of mix, and if you've been to our website, you see we do a mix of fun, viral stuff with the important stuff. So on We Heart Maine, you'll find stories like these 7 Maine coon kittens will absolutely make your life better, next to, if you don't think Maine has an opioid drug problem, then you should read this. We've had tremendous success so far in West Virginia, my home state. We're the #3 most visited news website in the state. We broke our first big story there. An ongoing budget crisis in West Virginia almost forced the closure of a very popular and very important scholarship program for high school students that funds students. We were the first to report on that story. We were the first to bring it to light. And we're just growing from that. And that's the idea behind We Heart.
And in terms of our show, a lot of what you're doing, I know one of the stories on We Heart Maine, you talked about some of the celebrities from Maine, but you do get into the art of journalism, as you've already said nicely, but you also intend to report on things that are important and germane to the Maine scene, particularly in aspects of the arts and entertainment.
Absolutely. A lot of newspapers have cut back on their arts coverage, and I'm actually really excited to see you guys at Mix to really invest in this show. And I am so stunned by the amount of money and passion Mainers have for the arts that I don't think happens in a lot of places, and it certainly doesn't in West Virginia, at least not to the scale that you guys appreciate the arts. And you are so fortunate to have that community and that support, that it's really important that the art is not only created, but it's also reported about. And I'm very excited to be here, and I'm really excited to see what you guys do, to see what's on at Mix.
Great. Thanks so much for that. Find out more about We Heart Maine by visiting them on weheartmaine.com. We welcome this new publication, and their stories of interest to all of us here in Central Maine. I can guarantee you will always find something you didn't know about this great state we call home. This segment of See What's On is brought to you by SBS Carbon Copy, located on Main Street in Waterville. SBS is a family-owned business and has always been a strong supporter of the arts and community development. Visit them at mainprintingservices.com. As we close out our first segment of the show, let's play a bit of Calypso Soldiers' tune, Shallow Hole.
I don't believe in what I see and what you've gone and done to me. What you've gone and done to me. I hope there's a God to save your soul. If it were up to me, I'd bury you alive, laid down in the shallow hole.
For those of you just joining us, you're listening to See What's On, brought to you by Community Productions and Mix 107.9. I'm your host, Dick Dyer. Community Productions is a special project that Gary Poulin and I have made happen in hopes of sponsoring, encouraging, and supporting more art activity in Central Maine. Please visit us at seewhatson.com. That's the letter C, whatson.com. And like us on facebook.com/arts in Central Maine. We love hearing from you. Now let's return to our exclusive interview with Andrew Springer. In this segment, we discuss more with Andrew about his experiences working at ABC News with George Stephanopoulos, Robin Roberts, and Dan Harris, to name a few. We'll also discuss the importance of journalism to the arts and where he intends to take We Heart Maine. A little bit about your previous job, because I know people are going to be curious. You basically headed up the social media, read that, Facebook, and all things related to social media for ABC News. You obviously had to work closely with people like George Stephanopoulos and Robin Roberts and Dan Harris, who's got a Maine connection. Anything you want to share with us about that?
Yeah. So I built the first social media team at ABC News at a time when we were sort of experimenting with Facebook and Twitter. Specifically, when I took over the Twitter account at Good Morning America, which was my first real job at ABC News, we tweeted like 2 or 3 times a day, and we just totally turned that on its head, because what we realized is that the way that people are consuming information is totally changing, and we need to keep up with that. I could tell this story. There was a senior producer at GMA at the time who said, "I hate Twitter because Twitter is ruining journalism." And I said to him, that's sort of like a newspaper editor in the 20s saying, "I hate the telephone. The telephone is changing journalism." It's changing it, but not necessarily in a bad way, and you have to do your job and keep up. And that's right. Dan Harris is a friend of mine. He was a mentor to me. He was the weekend anchor of Good Morning America. He told you, actually, and an anchor on Nightline. I don't think I ever told you this, but I actually went to Facebook's headquarters and did an interview with Sheryl Sandberg once with Cynthia McFadden from Lewiston.
Oh, okay. No, we didn't know that, because Dan Harris graduated Colby and went on to work Channel 6 out of the NBC affiliate out of Portland.
Yeah, and I think the thing that people don't realize is just, this is especially true of the folks on Good Morning America, they're just real people, and what you see on air with them, with Robin and with George, is that they're very genuine, and it does feel like a family there. And I'll never forget, the day that I got my first business card, she gave me a big hug, and she kept it because of my title then was Associate Producer of Social Media. And she gave me a hug, and she said, "I'm going to keep it because someday you're going to have to give me a job." That's just how genuine and nice Robin and George are.
And that's the part, you're right, that's the part we don't get to see as daily listeners. I mean, they certainly exude that kind of personality over the air, but it's great to get that perspective from somebody who worked with them on a daily basis. So that's really neat to hear. It really is the same passion that I'm feeling, Andrew, with what I've seen so far with We Heart Maine. You genuinely do care about Maine and the communities that you're trying to serve through that publication.
That's absolutely right. Robin comes from, Louisiana, just like I'm from West Virginia, and Dick, you're from Maine, and we come from these small towns, but even when we leave them, a part of them remains inside us. And I had a long discussion with a friend last night about what it means for our future, and can we really understand and pick the correct path in the future if we don't understand and appreciate our past and where we've been. Spent a lot of time looking at old photos of Buffalo, of Maine, of West Virginia, and there's a lot of talk in West Virginia that coal mines aren't coming back to West Virginia, and that's probably very true. But how do we move forward, and how can we move forward if we don't understand and respect the past?
Very good. Well, we're going to look forward to following the evolution of We Heart Maine, and people can find that on Facebook at weheartmaine.com. Anything else you'd like to share with us about where you want to take We Heart?
I'm just excited to grow this and to serve the public in Maine. I spent 5 years in Maine each summer as a summer camp counselor. I fell in love with Maine and with Mainers, and excited to work together and grow and fulfill this vital service to our republic.
Great. Thanks so much for your time today, Andrew.
Thank you, Dave.
You're listening to See What's On here on Mix 107.9. I'm your host, Dick Dyer. Our show is aimed at featuring what's going on in the arts in Central Maine, and we hope to hear from you. Please send your listings for what you think we should cover here on the show. If you're involved in any arts activity in the area, we want to know about it. Visit us on Facebook.com/Central Maine Arts for more details about See What's On. Now, back to our interview with Brant Miller. Talk to me about Take Me Home.
Well, Take Me Home is definitely a funk song. It's a bass-driven song, so that's probably why it's one of my favorites. In writing it, I definitely came up with a bass line, brought it to the guys. Everyone just sort of filled in their part. And it was one of those sort of great moments where everything fit together. The music came around together very well. And hopefully it keeps you captivated and dancing when you come out to hear us play in the clubs, because that's what we're here to do, is sort of take your mind off things for a little while.
Fitting with the theme. And it leads actually to my final question. As you grow your original music, and I think when I first talked with you, you were still evolving a lot of your original music a couple of years ago. Now your original music is really a prominent part of your albums and what you're doing out there. So how do you, Calypso Soldiers, intend to keep us under your spell?
Well, we're definitely going to keep exploring a new variety of methods of music in terms of instruments that we have on there, in terms of having alternative percussion setups there, multiple drummers, multiple instrumentalists. We actually just played a show not too long ago where we had, I believe, 8 people on stage, not quite up to the Parliament level, but, you know, everybody can't be P-Funk. However, we're definitely going to keep you happy, keep you dancing, and, you know, just let you forget about your problems for a little while and enjoy the moment and enjoy the great state of Maine, because that's what we're here for, and just to celebrate the music scene that we have here.
And that's what we're all about here at See What's On. So we will see what's on and see you out there on the scene, and coming right up in Booth Bay and then Hollowell and up in Waterville and other places to be named later.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brant. This is Take Me Home by Calypso Soldiers.
I'm feeling so abused, been kicked around for weeks now, torn down and left confused. Will someone give me shelter? I need a hand to hold. The wind is stirring up the tears, my thoughts are growing cold. Roll on down, roll on strong. Please take these tears and wipe them from my face and take me home. And take me home. Won't you take me? Oh, baby, take me home. Take me shelter, need a place to rest my bones. Been walking on the streets of emptiness, throwing stones. Will someone give me shelter? My will is not that strong. I need some caring company to carry me along. Roll on down, roll on strong. Please take these tears and wipe them from my face and take me home. And wipe them from my face and take me home. Won't you take me? Oh, baby, take me home. Walking on the streets of emptiness, throwing stones. Will someone give me shelter? I need a hand to hold. The wind is stirring up the tears, my thoughts are growing cold. Roll on down, roll on strong. Please take these tears and wipe them from my face and take me home. Roll on down, roll on strong. And wipe them from my face and take me home. Won't you take me? baby, take me. Why don't you take me home?
That was Take Me Home by Calypso Soldiers. For more of their music, visit our link on our website, that's the letter C, whatson.com. Well, that's our show for this week. Special thanks to our guests Andrew Springer of We Heart Maine and Brant Miller of Calypso Soldiers. I would also like to say a special thanks to Gatsby for technical assistance in producing this show here on 107.9 The Mix. My partner, Gary Poulin, and I hope you reach out to us on Facebook and visit our website at that's the letter C, whatson.com. We look forward to seeing you back next Sunday for more features about the arts in Central Maine. That's it for me. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and remember, if it's on, it's on. See what's on.